Hare Krishna. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. So we are discussing about the symptoms of Kali Yuga, which Dharma is asking Mother Earth. So now presently there is Parikshit Maharaj was very surprised when he saw bull and cow suffering in his kingdom, because for a long time no one is, but presently nobody is surprised with it. They are thinking there is no surprise at any of these things, and internet has created specifically to rob us from the last traces of surprise also, because there is some chance of being surprised, but because people sit in front of internet every day, they read so many things and nothing is surprising for them. It becomes a norm of life. So this has become a law, a norm, or invisible to us, and that's actually what is happening. We used to uh, even childhood also, when there is no internet and all, things were a little surprising. Now nothing surprises to anyone. So uh, so what was used to be unthinkable, it became a commonplace. Oh, what is it? Everybody does it. Why am I wrong? So what do you so this is actually what is happening. People are getting more and more distracted in their soul, and what people are left with, nothing. No people, not only there are no bulls, cows, there is no people left, because the qualities of man that distinguishes him from animal is what? The ability to sacrifice. This is the most important thing. So the ability to love based on higher ideas, and but the people lost all these abilities. There are no people animals there, only there are cruel and uh, uh, inventive animals. The present human beings we can call like that. They can create nice things, and they are very cruel animals. And only difference in abilities, they invent means of attacking each other and like that. So they actually uh, create all these things. It's a Man is the most amazing creature which Lord created, because he has ability to initially endow in principle in potentiality, but uh, they have many amazing qualities. But what is the most important distinction is we can make sacrifice, because animals consciousness, na, it is entirely concentrated on the body, on its own body. But man is given a developed consciousness, an expanded consciousness, and this expanded consciousness allows a person to go beyond the limits of his ego, and and uh, he can justify his existence. And when a man is deprived of his qualities, he turns into highly dangerous animal. That is the problem. So try to understand that the main abilities, we can expand our consciousness and go beyond our ego from the bodily, and we can make sacrifices. Now what is happening presently? Now what is hell? uh, Hell means what? When everybody is just doing excessive sense pleasure, that is actually hell. It is place where there is people are tormented, it is hell. But when people are doing so much sense gratification, it is also hell only, because excessive sense pleasure will end up in suffering only for all people. There is, because there is no sacrifice, it is not meant for higher cause, it causes great disturbance. Because in hell also there is a department for you will enjoy. The point is what? This has become a norm now, that nobody asks questions. Everybody takes it granted that, yeah, purpose of life is sense gratification is it is right only. So you have to have uncontrolled, unlimited sensual pleasure. And it's not just norm, it's actually law also. People consider that whoever is not trying for it and who is trying to limit himself in doing these things is a fool. You have to unlimitedly, unrestrictedly enjoy only. This is what people think. And I was hearing that there was a poster that was kept in London. What is the poster? Big hoarding actually. What they kept is, people are greedy and weak. You are not different. This is actually this is a promotion of the idea. Very important. It is said that this is advertisement that is hinting to all the people how they should live. They are telling, oh, it's okay. You can be greedy and you can be weak. Weakness is what? You are succumb to sense pleasure. You are just trying to enjoy more and more and more. That is weakness. And greedy means you are not satisfied with whatever you got. You have to work hard, hard, hard. So people think that all people are like that and nobody is different, and that is nothing wrong. We are all humans, and it is not any alien thing at all. So this is actually what is the symptoms of Kali Yuga, which Dharma is seeing. So what is the slogan of modern age is, just do it. Because you like it, you just do it. There's nothing to worry. Come on, you can do it. Everything is fine. Everything is washed away, or it will be destroyed, and does not matter. This is actually the problem in Kali Yuga, and everybody is victim to this total ignorance that is happening here. And the norm of life is this only. And this is what is actually the conversation that is going on between Bull and Mother Earth, Dharma and Mother Earth. So he's asking further this question: are you feeling sorry for the unhappy women and children who are left forlorn by unscrupulous persons? Or are you unhappy because the goddess of learning is being handled by Brahmanas addicted to acts against the principles of religion? Or are you sorry to see that the Brahmanas have taken shelter of administrative families and do not respect Brahmin, who do not that do not respect Brahminical culture? So these are all IAS officers. IAS officers are actually Brahmanas. They are the most intelligent people of the society. But what they are doing, they are serving, taking shelter of administrative families. They are taking shelter of these politicians. How does these politicians get such ideas for big, big corruptions and all? All the intelligence given by this secretaries only, state secretaries. Secretaries are all IAS officers. So they tell these politicians how to make money. Yes, politicians, they are all they can amass people and get votes, but they don't have so much intelligence to make that type of money in that type big way. So they can do some uh, force and other things, but intelligence is given by these people only. They will tell how to make big big contracts and how to go for tenders and where all you can make money. All these ideas are given by these intellectual people only. So one time, one of our ISKCON Maharajas, he was going in a train, and these people who were writing for IAS exam, they were coming back, and Maharaj in train, he was doing city chanting and all. So they were commenting on Maharaj. So then Maharaj heard for some time, and then he told this: "Arey, you people, because of you only whole country is corrupted." You are giving the ideas to these politicians and doing. So they could not argue against him. That is true. So, and women, sorry for the unhappy women and children who are left forlorn by unscrupulous persons. So if there are tears in eyes of women, children, cow, Brahmanas and old people, then the whole society is going to be doomed. This is what Vishnudev says. They should not cry. Cry in the sense they should not feel unprotected. Of course, there will be crying and fighting in the house. That is different. But they should not feel unprotected. This is the main problem. And nowadays we see how people are so much hard-hearted. Because if this is what I was discussing, when people do so much sense gratification, they become so hard-hearted. They don't have any sensitivity. They don't have any feelings. They don't even consider what is happening in other people. This is another big problem. And that's why people, they do sense gratification, and then the result of sense gratification is, then the children are there in the womb, then they go for abortion. They kill the children in the womb only because they are just obstacle for their sense enjoyment. They, without marriage, they are getting pregnant, and then they say, okay, now what to do? Yes. you tissue terminate. You just kill the child so that he is no more obstacle. The point is, if we are enjoying, we are responsible for our enjoyment. We cannot just unrestrictedly enjoy. We have to pay for the enjoyment. If you don't pay, then you will be punished. That is actually is what is happening. So hell is what? Hell is the punishment for the enjoyment we made. It is not the activity that is punished. It is the mentality that is punished. We need to understand that punishment is not for the activity. That's why we don't remember what all sinful activities we did in previous life, because we need not remember what we did. The punishment is not for the activity. That's why we are not remembering the activity. The punishment is for the mentality that we have. We need to change our mentality. That's why the punishment is there. Why, if somebody is very poor, or somebody is not very intelligent, somebody is a diseased body, we say, Arey, why I got this body? Yeah, you did something wrong in my last life. You may say, Arey, I don't know only what I did in the last life. Why I am getting punishment? Arey Baba, it is not the punishment for the activity which you did. It is a punishment for the mentality. So try to change the mentality. So that is the point. And unhappy because the goddess of learning is being handled by Brahmanas addicted or to act against the principles of religion. So all these big educational institutes and all, Prabhupada says they are all slaughterhouses because they take properly people into complete ignorance by giving knowledge. So we'll see what Prabhupada is writing. In the age of Kali, of course, one more important thing is I was telling that enjoyment, we have to pay for the enjoyment. Payment is not for the item which we have enjoyed, but the enjoyment also. Like say I purchased a mango, I ate mango, said I purchased it and I'm eating. You purchased mango only, but you did not purchase the pleasure which you get through eating mango. You need to pay for the pleasure also. What I can play for the pleasure, that is why sacrifice. So before eating the mango, offer it to Krishna. Then it becomes a sacrifice. If you eat that mango offered to Krishna, then you will be free from the reaction for it. Otherwise, yajnasista sinasanto muchante sarvakilpishe bunjate te tvagam papam. Otherwise, you are eating only sin. If you have not offered, offering means it is a sacrifice. When you sacrifice and enjoy, then you don't get reaction for it. If you don't sacrifice and eat, then you get reaction. The pleasure in any pleasure. That's why any pleasure, that's you cannot just enjoy woman and man, no enjoyment. We should have marriage and enjoy. Then you have performed that sacrifice of marriage and then you are enjoying, then you don't get reaction. Otherwise it's a reaction. Same thing with any other activity. There should be some sacrifice that need to be performed before doing that activity. Then it becomes legal enjoyment. Otherwise it is illegal. And any enjoyment, any type of enjoyment which we are doing, which is not meant to be done then you are paying for it. And the payment is what previously people used to do. Now what is the payment? You get so many mental diseases, physical diseases, so many other calamities. Then there is war, then there is pestilence, then there is earthquakes, floods, and along with that there are so many other you get so many types of fights and this that, so much anxiety, tension, stress. People are not understanding. They are thinking maybe government is not doing good, or we should have nice roads, we should have nice cars, we should have big houses, we should be having all facilities, then we'll be able to solve all our problems. Nothing will happen like that. Because the reason why we are suffering is not that we lack proper roads in our city, water facility, electricity, and then there should be gardens, parks, and so many other things we need. If government is providing all the things, free water, free electricity, and then you have all everything neat and clean and so much security and all. But that is not because of these things we are unhappy. The unhappiness is you are enjoying unrestrictedly without paying for it. That is the main cause. That's why it is hell. You enjoy and then you pay for it. Then you have super specialty hospitals increasing. Now, European countries or America, they have all these things very nicely. Their roads are very nice. They have so much security. They have so many other things. But still people are restless. Why? Because they're enjoying unrestrictedly. Yeah, we'll discuss on this more on this topic. We'll read what Prabhupada is telling on this. In the age of Kali, the women and children, along with the Brahmanas, cows, will be grossly neglected and left unprotected. So this is actually the problem. Unprotected means they are not given what type of protection they need. Children need a certain type of protection. Brahmanas need certain cows, and women also need a certain type of protection. Is it? In this age, illicit connection with women will render many women and children uncared for. Circumstantially, the woman will try to become independent of the protection of men, and marriage will be performed as a matter of formal agreement between man and woman. Now they sign a contract also in the West. If you marry, and they will before only sign. If you get divorced, you will get this much property, or you will not get anything from me. In most cases, the children will not be taken care of properly. The Brahmanas are traditionally intelligent men, and thus they will be able to pick up modern education to the topmost rank. But as far as moral and religious principles are concerned, they shall be the most fallen. These are all IAS officers. Education and bad character go ill together, but such things will run parallel. The professors are sitting with the college students and drinking and smoking. So where is the question of respect only? Where is the question of character only? They don't have any character. The professors themselves are drinking with the students and dancing with them for all these film songs. So it's such a nasty, thing. Previously in villages, even school teacher used to come. The parents used to touch the feet of the school teacher. Say, you are teaching my son nice education. And they used to give him so much respect, and they used to tell, even if the teacher beats, if the child comes and tells teacher beat me, parent will give 2 more beatings to the child. I think this is now, if teachers are beating the children, the parents will go in parent teacher meeting, they shout, how can you touch my child? Array, if you don't give him properly, that beating is actually good only. It will help the child to become more regulated and strict. It is the Tade Dashavarshani. So even Chanakya Pandit says you should give nicely. And children after 7 years of age, if they get good beatings, that is good only in one way, because after that, no, they should know that they have to, till that age 4 or 5 years, they should be given so much love. After that, they should get some beating actually after 5 years till 10 years. Why? Because their mind will be nicely programmed, so it will help them to develop in a proper way. Otherwise it is very difficult for them. So first initially so much love, and after that very strict, and then after 12 10 11 12 years, when they are coming in teens, then they should be treated like friends. After that, no more beating. Once their buddhi starts, they starts independently thinking. After the age of 12 13 teens, they start independently thinking. That time, no more beating, then it will damage. So before 4, no beating, that will also damage. So only time you have some nice training time, is this is the training time. So but now this is all these Brahmanas, there is no character only. The teachers are not proper, they don't understand, and they want to give nice, they want to help also children, but the parents don't want. They say, you should not tell anything to my child, you should not scold him, you should not do anything. Yeah, then he will become nice, very very well educated Ravana and Hiranyakashipu, without any character, without any conduct. And when they grow old, then they will also nicely treat the parents, sending them to old age home, or even if they stay at home also, nobody cares about them, because they have trained the children that better purpose of life is to enjoy. We are also doing, you also enjoy nicely. And when old age comes, they feel purpose of life is to enjoy, but my old parents are obstacle for my enjoyment. What to do? Get rid of them, just forget about it. Another thing is that uh, they are not taught responsibility. This is another problem in Kali Yuga. People don't follow, they don't take any responsibility, they just want to enjoy. So many things are there like this. We will read Prabhupada's. Even a philosopher and writer of many books on religious principles may also accept an exalted post in government which denies all the moral codes of Shastras. So this is another problem. The Brahmanas are specifically restricted from accepting such service. But in this age, they will not only accept service, but they will do so even if it is the meanest quality. These are some of the symptoms of Kali Yuga which are harmful to the general welfare of human society. So when first time Banaras Hindu University was made, that time they wanted to recruit Brahmanas for teaching. No Brahmanas came. They said, how can we work for payment? Then they had to hire Brahmanas who are not very high quality. They are ready to work for money. And then they asked children, will you come and study? They said, no, no, how can we study under such Brahmanas? Then they paid stipend. They said, we'll pay you, come and study. That was the previously it happened. But now it is ulta. So then he says, the so-called administrators are now bewildered by the influence of this age of Kali and that they have put all state affairs into disorder. Are you now lamenting this disorder? Now the general populace do not follow the rules and regulations for eating, sleeping, drinking, mating, etc. And they are inclined to uh, uh, perform such anywhere and everywhere. Are you unhappy because of this? So there are some necessities of life on the par with those of the lower end. They are eating, sleeping, fearing, and mating. The bodily demands are for both the human beings and animals. But the human beings have to fulfill such desires not like animals but like a human being. A dog can mate with a bitch before the public eyes without hesitation. But a human being does so the act will be considered a public nuisance and the people will be criminally prosecuted. Therefore, from the human being, there are some rules and regulations even for fulfilling common demands. The human society avoids such rules and regulations when it is bewildered by the influence of age of Kali. So, if people wanted to express their affection publicly, then maternal nature will provide them body of a cat or a dog so that they can publicly do such nuisance. Nobody will have problem. In this age, people are inclined in such necessities of life without following the rules and regulations. And this deterioration of social and moral rule is certainly lamentable because of harmful effects of such beastly behavior. In this age, the fathers and guardians are not happy with the behavior of their wards. They should know that so many innocent children are victims of bad association avoided by the influence of age of Kali. And now children they see all sorts of movies, they get drugs in schools, they get all sorts of habits in the schools, and girls they get pregnant from the school also in cities. So these are all victims. And uh, we know from Srimad Bhagavatam that Ajamila, an innocent son of Brahmana, was walking down a road and saw a Sudra prey sexually embarrassing. This attracted the boy, and later on, the boy became victim of all debauches. For a pure Brahmana to fall down to the position of a wretched uh, urchin, and it will all due to bad association. There was but one victim like Ajamil in those days. But in this age of Kali, the poor innocent students are daily victims of cinema shows which attract men only for sex indulgence. The so-called see that Prabhupada is writing in 1960s, and Prabhupada I don't know what happened now. People have internet in their hand, mobile, everything is available without restriction. So the so-called actually every line we can discuss. I don't have time, so I'm just trying to read. But so many examples we can take of every line Prabhupada is speaking is really what is happening now. The so-called administrators are all untrained in the affairs of Kshatriya. The Kshatriyas are meant for administration, as the Brahmanas are meant for knowledge and guidance. The word Kshatrabandhu refers to the so-called administrators or persons promoted to the post of administrator without properly trained by culture and tradition. Nowadays, they are promoted to such exalted post by the votes of people who are themselves following the rules and regulations of life. How can such people select a proper man when they are themselves fallen into the standards of life? Therefore, by the influence of age of Kali, everywhere politically, socially, or religiously, everything is topsy-turvy, and therefore, for the sane man, it is regrettable to see such a state of general welfare of human society. People don't even feel also there is something wrong. They feel it's all okay, normal. This is what is happening now. O Mother Earth, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hari, incarnated himself as Lord Sri Krishna just to overload your heavy burden. All his activities here are transcendental, they are cement and they cement the path of liberation. You are now bereft of his presence. You are probably now thinking of those activities and feeling sorry in their absence. So, yeah, the question is how are children saved from such situations? It is the responsibility of parents. If parents are very responsible, parents are understanding the purpose of life very clearly, then they can train the children. So it is not from the school. Don't put children just if I because my children are Gurukul, they'll be nicely trained. No, it will not happen because of Gurukul or a school or anything. It will happen only with parents who are taking responsibility of children. They can expect that their children, even if they don't become devotees, at least they will have some proper standards. What is the most important thing we should train children? We should train to become a proper go in a right direction. You have to train them to do selfless service, to learn to sacrifice, to do something for others, and that is possible when parents themselves are doing. They should every regularly they should call some devotees to their house and cook prasadam and feed them. So when the children are seeing that my parents regularly call some other devotees for prasadam and serve them, so children learn that I should also do this service. So when they become big, they will also call some devotees to their house and regularly feed them prasadam. Even that much if they do, even if they don't become devotees, but if they learn this one act of calling devotees and serving them, feeding prasadam, that itself will make them elevated very fast and they will be in a proper. That means what they understood, that life is a responsibility. It is not for sense gratification. Life is I should take responsibility of every enjoyment I am doing. This is another important thing we should learn ourselves and teach also the same thing. That if I enjoy, I have to pay for it. If whatever enjoyment, it is nothing free. And then I have to choose what type of enjoyment I need to have. So if I want to have certain enjoyment, then that payment is it's not free. So teach responsibility. Life is responsibility. It is not just do it or just enjoy. That is the point. So yeah, maybe for we can have we can have some we can hear some art of parenting seminars and try to understand. But this is what I am understanding, that if you teach children that life is a responsibility and we have to serve and nothing is free in this world, so then they will be saved. That's what I am feeling. Just the activities of Lord include liberation, but they are more relishable than the pleasure derived from nivrit or liberation. According to Srila Jiva Goswami and Vishnu Chakra Thakur, the word used here is nirvana vidam bitan, that which minimizes the value of liberation. To attain nirvana, liberation, one has to undergo a severe type of tapasya austerity, but the Lord is so merciful that he incarnates to diminish the burden of. Simply by remembering such activities, one can defy the pleasure derived from nirvana and reach the transcendental abode of Lord to associate with him, eternally engage in his blissful loving service. If you see 17th and 18th, there is no story only. It is just a conversation. Why conversation is kept? Because this is a very important conversation which is telling about the present age of Kali, how dangerous it is, how degrading it is. So to explain, the two chapters are given in the first canto only. This is one important theme of Bhagavatam. We discussed the three things. The first canto, the three topics of first canto is these are the how Bhagavatam appeared, what is Kali, and what is the qualification. So these are the three important themes, and this theme of Kali, two chapters explaining the symptoms only, means how it is, how bad it is. We need to very clearly understand, and when we know it properly, then we will try to come out of it. Mother, You are the reservoir of all riches. Please inform me of the root cause of your tribulations, by which you have been reduced to such a weak state. I think that the powerful influence of time, which conquered the most powerful, might have forcibly taken away all your fortune, which are adored even by the demigods. By the grace of Lord, each and every planet is created fully equipped. So, not only is this earth fully equipped with all riches for the maintenance of its inhabitants, but also when the Lord descends to the earth, the whole earth becomes so enriched with all kinds of opulence that even the denizens of heaven worship it with all attention. But by the will of Lord, the whole earth can at once be changed. He can do and undo a thing by sweet will. Therefore, no one should consider himself to be self-sufficient or independent of Lord. Kartum akartum sarvada kartum. This is all Lord only. He does, he cannot do, he can stop. So it's all ultimately Krishna who is performing this. So we should not feel I'm independent of Lord. That's what Prabhupada is telling. So we will go for the next section where Bhumi Devi, Dharani Devi is actually speaking. We'll take few shlokas on. Bhavan hi vedat tata sarvam yam yannama dharmanu prachasi chatu chaturбhir varte seyena padair loka sukhavahai. The earthly deity in the form of cow thus replied to the personality of religious principle in the form of bull. O Dharma, whatever you have inquired from me is already known to you. Yet I shall try to reply to all those questions. Once you two were maintained by the four legs and you increased happiness all over the universe by the mercy of the Lord. Was writing, the principles of religion are laid down by the Lord Himself. So this is Dharmantu Sakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. It's directly coming from Lord only. And the executor of such law is Dharmaraj or the Yamaraj. Such principles work fully in the age of Satyuga, in the Treta Yuga. They are reduced by a action of 1/4. In Dwapara Yuga, they are reduced by 1/4. So all these principles, they are going to reduce, and gradually diminish to a 0 point, and then devastation takes place. Happiness in the world depends, see, very nice. Happiness is not depending on how much material opulence we have. Happiness in this world depends proportionately on the maintenance of religious principles, individually or collectively. The best part of valor is to maintain the principles despite all kinds of odds. Thus, one can be happy during the span of life and ultimately go back to God. So, if you want to be happy, maintain the principles of religion. Formula is very simple. Satyam Sukam Daya Kshantisthyaga Santoshamarjavam Samodamastapashyamam Titiksho Parati Srutam Jnanam Viraktir Aishwaryam Sauryam Tejo Balam Smritihi Swatantriyam Kaushalam Shantir Dhairyam Madhvam Evacha Pragalbhayam प्रश्रयशीलं सह ओजाबलं भगः गाम्भीर्यां स्थैर्यमाक्षि आस्तिक्यं कीर्तिर्मानो अहं अनहंकृतः अहं अनहंकृति एतच्चाये च भगवान् नित्या यत्र महागुणा प्रार्ता त्वम् इच्छाभि न भिद्यन्ति स्म कर्हिचित् तेनाहं गुणपात्रेण श्रीनिवासे समार्पितवतम् शोचां रहितं लोकं पापमानं कलिनेक्षितम्. He said, in him resides. So these are the 40 qualities of Supreme Personality of Godhead. So very nice. Truthfulness, cleanliness, intolerance of others' unhappiness, the power to control anger, self-satisfaction, straightforwardness, steadiness of mind, control of the sense organs, responsibility, equality, tolerance, equanimity, faithfulness, knowledge, absence of sense enjoyment, leadership, chivalry, influence, the power to make everything possible, the discharge of proper duties, complete independence, dexterity, fullness of all beauty, serenity, kind heartedness, ingenuity, gentility, magnanimity, determination, perfection in all knowledge, proper execution, possession of all objects of enjoyment, joyfulness, immobility, fidelity, fame, being worshipable, pridelessness, being the personality of God in eternity, and many other transcendental qualities which are eternally present and never be separated from Him. The personality of Godhead, the reservoir of all goodness and beauty, Lord Sri Krishna, has now closed his transcendental pastimes on the face of the earth. In his absence, the age of Kali has spread its influence everywhere. So I am sorry to see this condition of existence. So very big purport. So we'll do it on Monday. Thank you all very much. No questions, comments. Okay, we'll end here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Tantra Srimad